Oh boy, are you awake? Are you ready for WrestleMania Saturday after that late night last night at the Hall of Fame? Jeez, man, I went to bed around 5 a.m., but we're still here with hot takes. It's going to be a great day. This is a one and done video. As you can see, we're live over on Twitch still with the subathon. And in hot takes, this is the series where I ask you guys to submit any hot takes, bold opinions, thoughts, concerns, whatever else you may have on the show over on Twitter. And then we break them down right here every single week. We're going to have lots going this weekend. We're going to have Mania Night 1 hot takes. We're going to have Mania Night 2 hot takes. There's going to be reviews for each show, so stick around on the channel as there's lots of content to come. But without further ado, let's get into this one and done hot takes video because we got Stand and Deliver literally in 1 hour. Phil says, another great promo between Cody Rhodes and John Cena. When Cody was getting booed, I was saying to myself, if I'm WWE, I don't want this. But then he was able to turn them back around into loving him again. Cody's ability to flip the crowd was amazing. Spot on there, Phil. Cody just absolutely crushed it in that ring on the microphone. I'm incredibly surprised, though, at this build to WrestleMania where people like Bianca are getting booed and now Cody Rhodes is getting booed. Like, I get it. Vegas, I understand that you were a smart crowd last night. And you're like, we're so smart for booing Cody. But then you got exposed for the fickle fans you were because, my God, you started cheering him 20 seconds later. Cody's ability to flip the script and flip that crowd and get him back on his side needs to be studied by every pro wrestler out there. He is a master on the mic, and everything Cody Rhodes did in this segment proves just why he is the man in WWE right now. Will he still be the man after John Cena and him face on Sunday? We'll find out. I'm not thinking he will, but regardless, Cody Rhodes has had a great run this past year, and he proved it once again. He is at the top of the class when it comes to understanding how to work a crowd. Cody Rhodes did an amazing job in that ring against John Cena. The next hot take that we have here is Nate saying that was the best promo I ever heard from Seth Rollins. And I don't know if it's the best promo per se, but like nothing else really jumps to mind. The way that he was able to communicate with the crowd, the little details in his promo, sitting cross-legged in the center of the ring, directly talking to CM Punk, directly talking to Roman Reigns, and then talking to us, the universe, why this match is so important to Seth Rollins. He sees the entire future of WWE hanging in the balance of this match. And there's so many little details we can get into. Like, what is this best for business stuff that he's talking about? What is going on behind the scenes? Is there Paul Heyman? I mean, Paul Heyman was sitting literally right next to Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins at the Hall of Fame last night. So there might be something more to that as well. But in terms of the best promo from Seth Rollins, I don't really have many that come to mind that were better. He has proven once again that he is one of the most important people in WWE. And after last year, where he saved essentially the main event by his inclusion, made it more interesting with his inclusion, and now this year, once again in another main event match, Rollins' inclusion makes it feel like a very big deal. No longer are we just talking about the favor between Paul Heyman, Roman Reigns, and CM Punk. We're talking about what could happen if Paul Heyman doesn't go with either Roman Reigns or CM Punk and he chooses to go with Seth Rollins. It could be a landscaping shift here tonight at WrestleMania, or maybe by the end of the weekend we'll even have a clearer identity as to what's going on. But I just love that promo from Seth Rollins. It was an excellent one. Ghostface says, could Cena and Seth be working together with Rock and Paul? Maybe Rollins believes that the only way the industry moves forward is if John is the champion. Plus, it would add a lot more logic as to why Seth technically helped John win the chamber, other than just screwing Paul. And yeah, there very well could be this big faction going on right now behind the scenes. The line from Rollins of best for business is exactly the same line that John Cena said when he was entering the Elimination Chamber, that it would be best for business for him to enter the chamber and win it to main event WrestleMania, and it would be best for business for John Cena to win the 17th championship. If Rollins is out here spewing the same stuff, best for business, there might be something more going on. And Paul Heyman and Rollins, they are connected a lot more than people realize. And going into this match, Rollins was viewed as the third wheel. People were saying he doesn't really belong. It should be Roman versus Punk one-on-one with the wise man hanging in the balance. that felt like a bigger deal. But Rollins' inclusion with all of this makes me believe that WWE is trying to establish Rollins as like a true star for the next little bit. Everything they're saying about Rollins being the future of WWE is kind of true when you take a look at it. He hasn't quite reached that level yet that Roman and Punk have reached. He's still just right there. Even though he's one of the most important people in WWE, he's not on that level yet. And after WrestleMania, if he were to align himself with Paul Heyman, if he does walk out of the main event with the win, and he said everything that he was going to do, and he actually did everything he was going to do, that establishes him as one of the top dogs in WWE, if not the top dog after winning that, right? Like legitimately, Rollins could change everything about WWE, especially if he goes with Paul Heyman. And Nursto says, I'm not happy that the tag titles are going to be on next week's episode of SmackDown, when it should have been on the WrestleMania card for either night 1 or night 2. But I think Street Profits retain next week. Nobody's happy. Not a single person on God's green earth is happy about what happened with the tag team titles. I don't understand how that happened. Look, I know that there's been a lot of stuff going on lately with like fans just need to be fans and not be over analytical about the show. But here's the reality. I'm not somebody who's really all that over analytical about the show anyways. All right. I like what I like. I enjoy what I enjoy. And I watch the show to have fun. Do I sometimes dislike things? Absolutely. But I also understand that it's not the end of the world. However, in saying that, as a fan of the tag team division on SmackDown right now, as a fan of Motor City Machine Guns, as a fan of DIY, as a fan of the Street Profits, how in the blue hell is a TLC match not taking place at WrestleMania? How do you have those three teams with a story built over how long, with them connecting the dots? Like they even had Nick Aldis connect the dots on a segment on Friday Night SmackDown telling us all the story going on. How is that not at WrestleMania? The fans booed it, and rightfully so. And this isn't about being over analytical about somebody losing a match. This is about 6 individuals who absolutely belong on the WrestleMania card that are simply just pushed to the side, thrown onto next week's SmackDown just so that we can, I don't know, follow up the story. It makes literally no sense. There is other matches on this card that don't have nearly as much story behind it, that don't have nearly as much hype behind it. And we're talking about a tables, ladders, and chairs match, something that is iconic, and it is literally tied to the history books of WrestleMania. We have so many great stories from TLC matches that people still talk about them to this day. How in the world is this not at WrestleMania? I don't understand. And I'm not trying to bitch and moan about it, but it really doesn't make any sense. With how the crowd sounded tonight, I have a feeling Sunday could look a lot like Rock versus Hogan at WrestleMania 18. Dude, it might very well be one of those moments. I'm not expecting John Cena to wrestle a 5-star match. All right, I'm expecting John Cena to go in there and work like almost a Roman Reigns style match where it's like 20 minutes of looking around at the crowd before you do a ref bump. Like, you know what I mean? I'm thinking something along those lines. We're going to have a lot of crazy stuff going down with John Cena and Cody Rhodes. And if we do have that crowd that is as electric and as split as it was on Friday Night SmackDown, I can imagine that this will be one of those generational crowds if they are as loud as they possibly can be. You got to remember, it's at the end of an extremely long weekend in Vegas where a lot of people, you know, from the East Coast or that are traveling there are completely jet lagged, and their sleep schedule is so far off, especially when you have shows like the Hall of Fame running until the time that they did and then having to get up and do Stand and Deliver. And especially if you're traveling around doing other events there, like the crowd might be exhausted by the end of WrestleMania Night 2. But if they are not, if that crowd is as hyped up as I think they are going to be for that match, we might have literally one of the greatest crowds of all time with that reaction. The John Cena sucks, let's go Cena, Cena sucks, you name it, Cody Rhodes chants, everything that will go down in that match, it needs to be electric. The crowd needs to carry it, and I just expect so many smoke and mirrors. Who knows who's going to be there? I assume The Rock will be, maybe even Stone Cold, and maybe we get a swerve or two along the way. Christopher says, I feel like Rey will push it to compete, but will most likely be replaced by either Dragon Lee or Rey Fenix. Now, as of right now, when we're recording this, the match is still announced. Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano. But after SmackDown, it was a very scary moment when Rey Mysterio was ripped out of the ring, thrown down to the floor, and we didn't see him the rest of the match during that 6-man tag. After the match, it was very clear that he was injured. Doctors was checking on Rey Mysterio at ringside. Dragon Lee and Rey Fenix both left the ring immediately without celebrating to go check on Rey. Camera cut away from it super duper quick, and we didn't see anything more about Rey Mysterio. That was until we went on social media and we saw a fan take a video of Rey Mysterio literally being carried out of the arena. Scary moment. I hope Rey is all right. If he isn't good to go, I also assume this is either going to be Rey Fenix or Dragon Lee replacing him. Rey Fenix might be the call. That would be a fun moment, getting Rey Fenix versus El Grande Americano. I think there's enough of a story there, especially with El Grande Americano ripping Rey Fenix out of the ring, right? So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see where we go with that one, but thoughts are with Rey Mysterio. I feel like Jade or Naomi might cost Bianca at Mania after that segment. It just feels really random to have Naomi and Jade come out and not do anything with a possible turn. Agreed. I think Jade or Naomi are going to be involved in some way, shape, or form in the finish. Either it's costing Bianca or it's Naomi helping Bianca. I think that's a more interesting story than people are looking at. Like, what if Naomi is the one who helps Bianca win the title, right? What if it's revealed all along that Bianca was the attacker because we haven't seen the footage from the attack yet? Like, there's more to this story, and I truly believe we're building towards a triple threat between Jade, Bianca, and Naomi over that Raw Women's title. I think. We'll see. We'll see if that ends up being the call. But honestly, that would be a great way to go if we could have Naomi get interjected into that feud, help Bianca win that title. Jade is jaded because Bianca took the help from Naomi, so that continues to dig a little deeper. But then Bianca can say, I didn't ask for the help from Naomi. I didn't want the help. I didn't need the help. I could get this done all by myself. And Naomi, that pisses her off even more. Like, we might be cooking right here, chat. We might actually be cooking. Batman, I'm Batman, says, I think we get Rusev to face Randy Orton at Mania. Fun way to introduce him. I don't hate it. We got an open challenge from Randy Orton at WrestleMania. It's probably going to be somebody that we are not expecting, like a Rusev. I mean, well, I say not expecting, and here we are speculating. You know what I mean? Maybe somebody who's not actually in WWE. I'm not expecting it to be Nick Aldis at this point. I think that would have been revealed. We would have got another segment with Randy Orton trying to RKO him on Friday Night SmackDown, but we'll see on that one. Other people that could come to mind could be like Aleister Black. Again, Rusev could be there. Solo Sikoa is certainly a possibility. Yeah, who knows? Who knows? Who else is in town? Like, he did say it could be anybody in Vegas. So Matt Cardona, I don't know. I'm just throwing names out there. I'm going to go ahead and assume Rusev or Aleister Black would be really cool. Even though Aleister Black seems to be hyped up for next week's SmackDown. I'm just going to leave this here. That's a little scary. Baby oil brawl. If Randy can oil up, why can't Santi? Patty says Paul Heyman hits Roman Reigns in the back with a steel chair. Okay, can you imagine the PTSD if Roman Reigns gets hit in the back with a steel chair from Paul Heyman? Can you imagine if that is how we finish the triple threat match? Rollins pins Roman after Paul Heyman hit him in the back with a steel chair. Oh, that would be something else, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it? Man, they be cooking right here. And then the last one says Zelina should win the Women's United States Championship. I don't hate this idea. I just love what Chelsea Green is doing right now, and I don't think there's any reason to take that title off Chelsea anytime soon. But there you have it, everybody. That is that. That is our Friday Night SmackDown hot takes running off of like 3 hours of sleep. And we got Stand and Deliver. The pre-show is literally on right now. So we're going to go over and we're going to watch that. Join me on twitch.tv for the pre-show, and then join me all day for WrestleMania coverage. We'll be in and out of YouTube, live the entire time on Twitch. And make sure you guys, as always, leave a like on this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn on those notifications. And if you want my entire review from Friday Night SmackDown, it is up over on my Patreon. We recorded that together on Twitch as well, so be sure to check that out. Once again, that is Patreon, right in the link below in the description. words are tough here. We got to end this. All right. Thank you for watching, everybody, and we'll see you today for WrestleMania.